Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these roots today. I colored my hair about a week or so ago, and something in the processing did not go as it normally does, and so I think it processed and lightened it, but didn't get the color in there. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's bugging me. But that's not why you guys are here. Today is another episode of Trash Talk, where I read reviews and critiques of historically famous composers provided by their contemporaries. So today we're going to start out with Hector Berrioz. And Hector Berrioz is actually one of my favorite composers. He's definitely an odd guy and had a habit of falling madly in love. His exuberance and passion for these women was obsessive. And he would get into these tumultuous relationships, and it was a lot of this drama that inspired and fueled his creativity when it came to music. Most notably his Symphonie Fantastique, which was during his relationship with Harriet Smithson. Definitely plan to do a later episode of Berlioz and just how crazy this guy gets in my Messed Up Music History series. So this critique was given in London's Dramatic and Musical Review on January 7th, 1843. Berlioz, musically speaking, is a lunatic, a classical composer only in Paris, the great city of quacks. His music is simply and undisguisedly nonsense. He is a kind of orchestral Franz Liszt, that which I could name nothing more intensely disagreeable. I find it interesting what he has to say about French composers. Obviously, he was not a big fan of what was going on there in France. Great city of quacks. All right, our next composer is also from France, and that is Claude Debussy. Or is that Debussy? I don't really know. Debussy? He is most known for his impressionist style. Now, this was a term that he was not a fan of at the time, although looking back, he is absolutely the front runner. So impressionistic style in music is similar to that if you consider painting. So impressionistic painting, that of Monet, where things are very blurred. Very much the same thing happened in music when it comes to harmony. And Debussy's music tends to be very almost trance-like in some ways, very tranquil and mood music. He wrote for pretty much every genre of classical music, so orchestra, concertate, which is solo instrument with orchestra, chamber music, piano music, choral music, and quite a bit of vocal music as well. So this critique comes from the US, from the Boston Daily Advisor. This was on January 2nd, 1905, written by Louis Elson. Poor Debussy, sandwiched between Brahms and Beethoven, seemed weaker than usual. We cannot feel that all this extreme ecstasy is natural. It seems forced and hysterical. It is musical absinthe. There are moments when the faun from Debussy's Afternoon of a Faun seems to need a veterinary surgeon. Well, that's quite a visual, I guess. Next up, Franz Liszt. It's a Hungarian composer, conductor, teacher, but most notably a virtuoso concert pianist. So the same type of virtuosity displayed by Paganini on the violin, that's what Franz Liszt was for the piano. And he was really the first rock star. Caricatures of women falling over themselves to get close to him on stage. He was quite the ladies' man. He was very handsome, and he had a lot of high-end affairs that really increased his social status. So this review is also from London, from Musical World, June 30th, 1855. Turn your eyes to any one composition that bears the name of Liszt, if you were unlucky enough to have any such thing on your pianoforte. And answer frankly, if it contains one bar of genuine music. Composition indeed. Decomposition is the proper word for such hateful fungi, which chokes up and poisons the fertile plains of harmony, threatening the world with drought. Maybe the critics in London just didn't like the music that was coming from continental Europe. One of the things I love about going through these critiques and reviews on these historical composers is just how much it proves that even though these composers obviously were producing quality music that stood the test of time, people's opinions are what they are. And for good or ill, you just can't take everything that everyone says so seriously when it comes to critiques. Sometimes you just got to brush that off. That is, of course, unless it's about Johannes Brahms, which we all know how I feel about. So, let's wrap it up today, of course, with another critique of Johannes Brahms, which I'm sure is well deserved. This is taken from the Boston's Evening Transcript on November 16th, 1885. Another one from the US. Brahms lovers were deeply disturbed by large numbers of people leaving the hall between movement of his C minor symphony. It must be admitted that the larger part of our public, Brahms is still an incomprehensible terror. So that wraps it up for today's Trash Talk. We will have more coming up next week. Hopefully you found it amusing like I do, and learned just a little bit maybe about some historical composers. If you have any critiques of your own, please feel free to leave them in the comments for me down below. Don't forget to click the thumbs up if you liked the video and the subscribe button. Ring that bell for notifications so you know when videos are coming out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.